Hello, my friends. This is your happy stamper lady, Rachel Markin, helping the creative you shine through. Well, we're in week 2 of April. So if you caught my Simply Fantastic video for April last week, you'll know that we started a new theme, April Ornate Awesomeness, which I am very excited about. It's been really beautiful, and I've had a really good time playing with these sets that we have. So this last week I asked a question and Nikki Smith responded and said she'd like to see some new folds. So what you're going to see today is me playing around with some different folds, and I had a really good time. I was challenged by Nikki in a good way. It was a very good challenge for me to kind of stretch myself out of my box, which is always good for you guys, hopefully, to know that I'm always researching new things for you, that you would enjoy, things that you would like to see. And so with that in mind, when you see this video here on YouTube, thank you for watching. I hope you subscribe and hit the little bell button. I also hope you go to my Facebook page. So I'll show you my Facebook page there. When you go to my Facebook page and you like it, and then you like this video and you share this video and tell me that you shared it, you get entered into a drawing. But this is also the place in Facebook where I would love to get some feedback from you guys of what you're enjoying, what you want to see, new things you want to see, that kind of stuff. That always helps me if I get some actual comments and feedback on Facebook. This is my demonstrator page. I want to show you that too, so you can see that if anytime you want to order, you can do that at any time. And then, of course, you can always come and order with me, because I love to help you put orders together. So here we are, new month, magic box, new theme. But something else that you might notice is new is if you see over here in the other corner, my finger, I'm pointing there, there is a little notepad there, and I was able to put all the measurements of what I'm doing. And that is Sean. He added that new. Anything that is like techie is my husband. He added new. But that is super helpful because now you guys can create along with me and you will have what the measurements are for everything that I'm using the whole time that's up there. And I would love to hear your comments on that. Like, is that helpful? Do you think that that is something that you like, that new feature, to see that? Like, that is super fun for you, right? Okay, so before we get into our magic box, we got our drawing, right? We got our little drawing. So we've got our Pooh cup, which I always love to show off here with my little Pooh Bear guy, which I love so much. I love him. And so the drawing for this one is for those who shared my Simply Fantastic video last week. Thank you for those who shared. Let's put that over. I did new names. I started all new names. Who do we have? Oh, Christy. Oh, yay, Christy. Thank you so much. You've been so supportive of my business, and I'm super, super excited. So when you win, I always send out just a little thank you. Like, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for being so kind and supporting me. So who's ready to see into our magic box? Yay. Okay. So if you follow the Simply Fantastic videos, you know stamps, ink, and paper. That's what we do the very first month, the first week of the month. And then we build on that. So we always use the same inks, we always use the same paper, and the same stamps. So the theme for this month is April Ornate Awesomeness. And so our colors are based on the paper that I have. But if you are stamping along with me, but you don't happen to have this supply, pick the colors that work with your paper and come and stamp with me. Have fun and stamp with me anyway. My colors that I'm using are Early Espresso, Terracotta Tile, Mint Macaron, and my very favorite Blackberry Bliss. Oh, look. Like today, I almost like did the whole theme because I've got like this Blackberry Bliss top on, which my sister gave me. Thank you, Roberta. So those are our colors that we will use for the entire month. And then we will use the same paper. So we're using the DSP Ornate Garden DSP. It's really, really beautiful. And I have had so much fun. If you notice, my box is kind of low because I have been making cards a little bit like a crazy person. I've been a little bit crazy with making the cards. Been having a good time. And then we have our stamp sets, right? So that's in our magic box always. And they are Ornate Thanks, which is this wonderful set of words that is really flexible for so many occasions. So it's a great set of words. And then of course the Ornate Style, which is this beautiful stamp set that we've been using. Okay, so those are our stamps that we've been using. And then of course cardstock. Now if you watched my video last week, you saw that I have pre-cut cardstock. This week we're actually going to use cardstock. We're going to use Blackberry Bliss cardstock. Who is surprised by this news? And we're going to have some white cardstock. Okay, that's the only cardstock we're going to need. And so those are our basics. Those are our basic ingredients. So now with Add a Dash of Glitter this week, what does that mean for us? Well, we will have some gems, which is super great. I love gems. These are new. These gold gems, I think, gilded gems, I think they're called. Those are new that they came out with the Ornate Style. And then these are in color dots because I thought that they went really well. Well, terracotta tile is part of the in colors. And then pearls, because I just think pearls are classic and I love them. I think that they go with everything. Okay, and then of course Dimensionals is on the Add a Dash of Glitter world because that's going to pop things up. So that's part of our Add a Dash of Glitter, right? And then we have our Winko Stella, okay, which I use all the time. You know that. You know, like I'm a Winko Stella girl. But what else do we have in our magic box? Okay, of course we have glue. We always have glue. And we have an extra block because that's a good thing to have. We've got these punches that I'm going to show you because I actually picked out 2 punches this time to use. And then, of course, scissors. Got scissors, our pick a tool. All of those things are good. Okay, magic box is now empty, so we're going to put that to the side. Let's talk about our punches a minute. Okay, see if I can see. There you go. You see that? Okay, that's beautiful. So this is a double butterfly punch, and I will sit these here so you can see the butterflies, what they look like, okay? That's one of the punches that I picked out. So pretty. And if you notice, I actually have a baggie of punches. So, I mean, there's lots of great ways to store, but baggies are still kind of magical when you want to do that. And so I, like a little tip ahead of time, I will just sit and punch butterflies out of the main color cardstock I'm using, which would be the Blackberry Bliss. So you see how I punched out butterflies there, and I will try to get as many as I can. And this, if you do a half sheet of cardstock, cut it 4 1/4, will actually get you 10 sets of butterflies, big and small butterflies. Okay, that's a little tip for you. And then I'll also cut the butterflies out of my DSP. I'll just like start cutting butterflies out of DSPs. Super fun. So those are one of the punches that we're using. And then we're using this punch for our words. And I'll put that there so you can see that. Okay, that's the punch we're going to use for our words. Super fun. Now, if you're not a butterfly person, no worries. We have lots of punches that you can choose from. Or if you have a punch at home already that you love, then use that punch. That's perfect. But I will show you our punch options. So we have balloons, super cute, another type of flower there. You have a cat, a dog, another different double type flower that you got there. This is the punch we're using this week called Story Label Punch. And then another flower. Look at this adorable little elephant. That'd be super cute, wouldn't it? Like a super cute thing. So you got other punches. Like if butterflies are not your thing, that's no big deal. It's totally fine. So I want to show you something really quick with the Winko Stella. I realized that in my Sew Now What video about tools, and I think I put that out last week. I think that came out last week. When I did the video about tools, I talked about Winko Stella, and I talked about giving you a little tip about how to fill it. And then I realized that when the video was over, after I watched it, I didn't actually show you how to refill. My apologies on that. I'm sorry about that. But I do want to give you this tip so you don't feel like you have to buy a new Winko Stella all the time, because it's only going to last so long. And if you use it like I do, my gosh, I could go through my Winko Stella in one sitting. I could be like, oh, done with my Wink of Stella. So when you get your Wink of Stella, I'm going to show you that first. So you open up your Wink of Stella, and when you get it, now mine isn't on here anymore, but if you have a brand new one, you have this little black ring on there that has to come off. I didn't even know that. I watched a video somewhere because I couldn't get my Wink of Stella to work. So you take off that black ring and it never goes back on. It just comes off, okay? And then this is a removable piece, okay, that you can rinse out, kind of keep it going. And then you have this little black piece here, and I use my pick-a tool because I think it's hard to get that out of there. Like, you just want that to pop up like that, so that this piece, okay, you've got this little guy, and then you've got your Wink of Stella down inside of there, okay? And your Wink of Stella is filled up. It says push. You can't really see that on the video, but you can see, like if you're looking at your Wink of Stella, you can totally see where it says push. That's usually where your Wink of Stella is filled up, is around that push, that level. You don't want to go higher than that. So when it runs out, which it will, I run out of mine all the time. What do? Well, you don't want to buy a new one, so you can refill it. Super, super easy. All you need is this all-purpose ink. It's called Champagne Mist, or Frost White, I believe is the other option. Yes. So shimmer paints, we have them here on page 180, and they're $8, and you can use it forever. I've had this forever. Now I'm at the end. Now I am needing a new one. But you use this paint, and so I am not going to do it on camera because I am I spill. I'm a little bit of a slobby, and I can like make messes, not on purpose, but it definitely happens. So you take that back out like I showed you, like you have that open, this little guy comes out. Now I rinse everything off before I fill it back up, and then I dump a little bit of the shimmer paint in there. See, there's a little bit on the cap there. Down to the bottom down here, like you just dump a little bit, and the rest is rubbing alcohol. That's it. So there's my happy little tip for you to keep your Wink of Stella going over and over and over again. And it's magical. It works wonders. It works wonderful. And if you ever like get a clog, or you ever feel like it's just not coming out the way you want it to, go rinse your brush out and go make sure you don't have any you know, like if it, you know how paint can kind of get those little globbies on there or whatever, you just go clean that out. Just go rinse it out, and then you can start over. Okay, there is our little tip of the day. Okay, so now let's get to making our card. I'll get that alcohol the way. We don't need that. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do is cut our cardstock. So if you have watched my So Now What cardstock video, I talked to you about the two different types of cuts that you can make on cardstock. So because it's the 11, because it's a long way like this facing you, if you have a full piece of cardstock, I'm not going to cut it for you because it's already done. But if you have a full piece of cardstock like this, cut it at 4 1/4, and you get 2 cards. That's what we've got going on here. Okay, that's our card base. That's what that means up at the top when it says card base. Then we're going to do our scoring. So on our cutter, we have a scoring blade, which is lighter, and we have the darker one, which is the cutting blade. And I always push that down here when I'm going to score so it doesn't get in my way. And then when we go to score, okay, I'm going to talk to you about a little bit about a math thing here. If this does not apply to you, just ignore me. If you're great with math and you're great with your measurements and it doesn't ever confuse you, fabulous. If you do get confused, I'm going to try to help you a little bit. So your first score is at 2 1/4, and then 3 5/8 you're going to score. And then if you notice up on the top, it says on both sides. That simply means I flip my paper around and I do that scoring all over again. Why do I do that? Because I don't want to have to remember 4 scores. If I remember the 2 scores and I can flip it over, and it works on this one. It does. I mean, that doesn't always work, but on this particular one, it works beautifully. So why remember any other scores on there? Okay, and so then I've scored. Now it's hard to see. The paper's dark, but you can see the different score marks I've got here. So when I name this stuff over here, when I say main panel, I'm talking about this panel, and this panel, because we're decorating the front and the back. You're going to love this card when you see it. And when I say small panel, I'm talking about these little small side panels. And so I tell you that there's 4 pieces on there. And then when I say big side panels, these are the big side panels I'm talking about on both sides. Okay, so kind of wanted to make that clear of what we're doing when we do that. Okay, so just a small moment of math. When you're looking here at inches, obviously those are inches. Now I'm US, so I am not talking centimeters. That is on our board though. If you need those, they are there. But I'm talking the inches. And so when I'm looking at this, in between each inch mark, there are 16 little slashes, okay? So 1/4 of an inch is the first smallest one in between the two. Then the biggest one is 1/2, and then 3/4, and then you're at the next inch mark. Those are pretty basic, and everybody kind of knows those, okay? However, when it says 5/8 of an inch, I had to think through that a minute, and that's some math for me. And so if there are 16 little slash marks here, okay, 3 5/8 would fall right here, because it would be 10/16 divided by 2 would be 5/8, if that makes sense. So it'd be the number 10 slash mark. So I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I would know I'd be at that mark, and that's 3 5/8. I hope that helps you. If you didn't need that and you're like, Rachel, really? Then kudos to you, but I struggle sometimes, and my brain, sometimes I get those numbers and I'm like, what are they what does that mean? What are they talking about? Hopefully that helped you. If you didn't need that help, I'm super happy for you. And you could just ignore all of Rachel's ridiculous math moments. Okay, so we've cut our Blackberry Bliss, we've cut our card base, okay, and we've scored our card base, and now we need to do our white. Now, something that I did here, you're seeing this here with the butterflies. So this is a 1/2 sheet of cardstock. So when I am kind of preparing for a project, you know, I do assembly line. I do like 10 cards at a time. I also prepare my butterflies. This is wonderful. So if you do a 1/2 sheet of cardstock and you do it like this, you can literally get 10 big butterflies, 10 little butterflies out of there. And then I cut butterflies out of my DSP. And I kind of do that to the side. I don't do that while I'm making my card. Like, I kind of do that prep ahead of time, if that makes sense at all. Okay, so with the white paper, you will notice up there it says a main panel. You need one of them to be white cardstock, and it needs to be cut at 4 inches by 3 1/2. So if you know that this piece here, a 1/2 sheet of cardstock, is cut at 4 1/4. So you have to go through and just cut off that 1/4 of an inch. No biggie. That's not even a big waste there. You might even be able to use that for something else later. But now you're at 4 inches. So if you were making 2 cards, which you know I'm always doing assembly line, then I would cut this at 3 1/2. Sorry, I didn't realize it wasn't quite up there so you could see it. I would cut this at 3 1/2. That's one of my white panels. And that gives me another 3 1/2. Okay, and then I found for myself, this is not something you have to do. That's not why it's up in the notebook necessarily. This last piece I cut, and it's literally in half at 2 inches, and I use that on the front as part of my decoration. Not have to, but just there you go. So now I'm literally ready to start making my card. Okay, now you notice I didn't show you the card ahead of time because I want this to be like a wow factor for you. I want you to just be like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. So hopefully you will feel that once we do it. Okay, so the first thing that I would do after I have scored and after I have cut my white paper is I would make sure I also have my punch outs ready to make on my card, my little punch out, and then I also punched in my Blackberry Bliss. So this this is a double. So I took the time to do all those punch outs ahead as well, because you don't need to watch me punch out. But I do need one more of the white. So I will take this on the white, and you know, I told you I do it upside down so I can see it. Okay, so then I have those punches done, and I've already done a ton of butterflies. You don't need to see me punch out butterflies, so we'll just put those to the side. So I need the white pieces here and these. So this is kind of the way I start this card, is that I'm going to start with the stamping first. That kind of makes sense because you want to have your stamping done so that then you can just start decorating, because that's what this card's all about. So on the back panel, I'm going to use that So Grateful, because I'm kind of really in love with that So Grateful. And then did you see how they came off on their own? That's super funny because I've been using them so much. My friend, you are amazing. That's what I'm going to use on the front. Okay, so that is all the words that I'm going to use this time on this particular card. Those are the only words I'm going to use. So now you know what I'm going to pull out, because we always use it every single time we stamp together. What am I pulling out? My Stamparatus, because it's brilliant, and I want to be able to do my words, and I want them to sit nicely. And so yeah, that's what I'm going for. The only other stamp that I'm going to need is going to be a little bit of a decoration, and so I'm going to actually do that on my block. Okay, so got my Stamparatus ready. You got your thing, and I put the black pad on there because I'm using photopolymer. Okay, so that's the only difference of when you're going to do that. So the first thing I'm going to do is this back panel. So I know that when it sits, it's going to sit up this way. Okay, so it fits absolutely perfectly. If you can see in between the lines, it's quite beautiful in there. And so that's the way it's going to sit on there. So this is where I'm going to stamp. And the beauty of this is that you haven't added any paper, so you could do whatever you want on here. And because I had done it, I like having the word go across, and then it's going to be a great base for me to then add all kinds of design series paper, because the paper is going to be the hero of our card this week. You're going to love it. Okay, so we let the plate do the work for us. Picked up. I didn't stick my finger down there fast enough to get it. Okay. Blackberry Bliss is the only stamp pad we're using this time. Now, when I was making various cards, you certainly can do other colors. And like I said, you don't even have to be using the same colors that I'm using. You could do a totally different color, and that would be brilliant too. I mean, that would be perfect. Okay, so there you go. I love that. So Grateful. It's so beautiful. But you know me, when I'm doing my words, sometimes I like that extra. I like to go the extra and do a little bit more. Okay, so we're just going to do it one more time. And then while I've got it here, this is a perfect place to pull out, maybe we'll use the cluster of flowers. I actually have not used the cluster on anything I've done so far. So how about we do that, because we've not done it at all. Okay, so that's where our block comes great and handy, because I probably just want to do it up in the corner. I'm not even doing a ton of stamping. You're doing more. Oh, that's actually adorable. Okay, cluster of flowers, done. Okay, and that whole idea, that mentality, if you were doing it, this is the perfect time that you would leave your words in place so that you could do the same stamping, and you would do that assembly line over and over again. I hope the idea of the assembly line is really helping you. I find that when I sit down, and if I feel like I'm stamping and I pulled all this stuff out and I'm getting more than one card made, I just love that. I just think that feels so productive, and it makes me happy. I just really like it. Okay, so we'll do the cluster again. Happy day. That's gorgeous. Okay, so we're going to clean that off, and we're going to stamp our little tag that's going to go in the front, and then we're literally done with our stamping, and the rest of the time we're going to play with paper. How fun is that? So this fold, it does not have a name. Maybe I can come up with a name. I found it on YouTube. A couple different people had done it. I honest to goodness don't, there wasn't a name. It was just found under fun fold. I looked for fun card folds, and it popped up with 2 or 3 people doing it. So thank you to all the different YouTubers out there who are already doing that, who are already, you know, kind of coming up with some fun fold ideas. Got smudgy all over that one. I can make it a happy accident, but not right this moment. I like had it all over my finger, so I need to like wipe off my fingers on my thing. There you go. So there's your chamois. Can be used to wipe your own fingers off, because I like had like a big, see, I still had a little bit on there. You want to get that off so you don't smudge up your stuff. Okay, so this is where the photopolymer, and I've showed you this before because we've been using this, where you can make your own words, and so you can like put them together. So excuse my head for just a minute while I try to like put it together where I want it to sit, where I think it's going to sit real nice in the groove. Okay, I like that. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to let the plate do the work for us again, like that. And then we're going to use our Blackberry Bliss again, and I will probably do this twice just because I do like the look of it. I like the boldness, and I think I'm going to use that cluster of flowers again. That was quite adorable. So we'll do that. Oh, I just think that's so cute. Can you see that? Oh yeah, that's so cute. Just a cute, like cursive writing. You don't always see that necessarily. I like that. I like the cursive writing. Okay, that's adorable. Let's go back to that cluster of flowers over there. We'll move this so I can kind of move this around to see where I want my flowers to sit. Probably do some there. Oh, yes, so cute. Do a little flower there. Oh, that is such an adorable little moment there. Do a flower there. Oh, I'm so glad I used the cluster of flowers. See, and that's something too, like when you're stamping, sometimes you can fall in love with like a certain stamp, which I definitely have. This gigantic flower I have done over and over and over again. But I mean, there are other stamps in there, and you don't want to forget them. So sometimes it's good to kind of challenge yourself that way too. Like, hey, maybe I should like go out of the box here a little bit and use some of the things I haven't used yet, or, you know, I've kind of neglected some pieces. Let's try that. Okay, so we are actually done even with our Stamparatus. How crazy is that? So we're done with our words. They will be put away over there. We're done with our chamois, and now it's all about paper. So I'm going to move this. I'm actually going to move this out of the way because we're going to need our cutter a whole lot. Okay, one of the things that I do before I start cutting is that I go ahead and apply my panels. So if you see the way this is for the fold here, and then it's a different type of line. This is like the opposite line, like the underline. This is where I'm going to put my white panel. I know that sounds weird because it's the back of the card, but it's perfect. Once this is all put together, you are going to flip out. I hope you do. I did. Like, I did this fold and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so brilliant. So you know that I'm using my glue here. This is where you would have either your glue or you would have your tape runner. And it is going in between the lines. I know it's hard to see on the thing, but when you're actually looking at the card, that main panel, you'll see the lines real well. And that is the back of your card. That's laying on the back of your card there, okay? And we're going to do the same thing here. And then we're only going to do one punch because I'm going to show you that you can make the card without all the extra. You know, I always try to do that for you. Like if you don't happen to have punches, you don't happen to have all the extra, but you just have the stamps, ink, and paper, I always want to show you that that's an option. Okay, so that part's done. The back panel's done. The only other thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this together real quick so it's ready. So on this one, because we did this extra piece in the Blackberry Bliss, I'm going to put glue only on the top half of this part, and I'm going to line it up so you see just a little bit. See how cute that is? And it just gives a little something extra at the top. This is just a fun way to use your punches, kind of show you that you can use your punches more than one way, that you can layer your punches. And then we're going to come in and we're going to go ahead and put our dimensionals there so that that's ready to be used later. Okay, so that part's ready for us later. Done. Now let's cut some cardstock. Let's do some fun cardstock cutting to see what we want to do. So the first thing that I do when I made this card is I decide what this main front panel is going to look like, and then I go from there with my other cardstock. Okay, so one of the things that I did when I have my cardstock is that I divided it up. I felt like it made it easier if I had like piles around me. These are just tips. This is not something you have to do, okay? These are just tips. But if you got the cardstock and you can see all the different designs, instead of digging through your box, okay, it's already pre-cut, you can see it, and you can lay one like that. So that shows the double sides, okay? So it shows the double sides every time. I just find that to be helpful. I just think that that just helps me. Okay, there's this one that is probably my, I don't know if my favorite, but maybe, because those big flowers are so beautiful. Okay, and then you have this design, which I barely have any left because I kind of fell in love with this design. And then you have this design as well. Okay, super, super beautiful, which I don't think I did a main panel like that. So let's do a main panel like that. And then you'll see what I mean, because it kind of like helps you, you get this color and then you're like, oh, well, I love those colors beside it. And it kind of goes. So let's cut this one. So your cut is, this is 4 inches already. So if you turn it like this, all you have to do is cut it at 3.5. That makes it so much easier if you cut it this way. Okay, so if you cut that at 3.5 and you already have the main panel in the back, so now you have your main panel cuts done. You have your white panel, and now you have your piece here. And I haven't folded anything because I think it helps it to lay it out flat, and then you can look at it, like you can see it all together. So I love that for a main panel. I think that that is super, super cute. And I haven't used this as a main panel, so we're going to do that as our other for 3.5. And then your main panels are done. Okay, and as I went, I actually glued my main panels down so that they were already set. Like, okay, that's my main panel, love it, gonna do that, gonna have that going on, super happy. And then I can move forward. There's really no right or wrong with these flowers. They're kind of up and down, so that's a preference too. I'm just looking down for just a minute because I want to make sure I get it in the lines for my main panel. Okay, so yep, main panel done. And we'll do this one for the main panel. And then we just start adding our side panels, and we do the same thing on the back. Okay, so I think I like that one flower sitting up there. So we'll get this as our other main panel. Okay, already taking shape. Now with this one, I feel like you have that dark, more of that olivey tone. You have that olive in there. I think that is going to be stunning as the 2 side panels. So again, if this is, I'm always turning it this way because this is already cut at 4 inches when you do Love It, Chop It. That's the brilliance of Love It, Chop It. So it's already at 4 inches, so I don't have to make extra cuts. So on this one, my 2 big panels, if you look up there, the big side pieces are 4 by 2. So I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to cut 2 inches and 2 inches. Okay. And those are going to be my main side panels. Okay. So got a side panel there. Gorgeous. And I have a side panel there. Alrighty, look how that's coming together. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, so I'm going to lay those panels down because I love it. And I think I like how that looks. And this helps you because then you just start layering. Once you have your main panels down, you can just layer, layer, layer. You can keep adding more, or you can keep just the main panels and love it that way too. Okay, so we're going to lay these 2 down. And then I think I'm going to finish the front one because I can already see it in my mind. Like I can already see the colors coming together. I'm looking at this cardstock over here and I'm absolutely loving the colors with that. And I love the gold mimicking that's going on. So this, again, sideways, all of them are 4 inches. But if you look up there, the small side panel is 1 1/4 inch. So I'm going to do that. So I've got 1 1/4 inch. I got my cutter over here on the side just so you can see all my paper. So I'm just moving over here to get my cutter to get my cuts. And so I'm laying that down. Are you seeing that come together? Is that not beautiful? So then I'm going to do one more 1 1/4 inch because you got 2 front panels, 2 back panels. So in the end, you'll end up cutting 4 of each of those panels. Boom. Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. Okay, so I love that. So I'm going to go ahead and lay those panels down. I think they are beautiful. And then what I found that I did for my back panels is I chose some of the same cardstock, just laid it in a different way. I'll show you what I mean. So once I lay this panel down, then my main panels are done for this first card. Okay, and so then when I turn it over, okay, then I want to come back to, is it this one that has that? Oh, there. Surprise. I want to do these for the side panels here. I want to do these of the side panels. So again, 4 inches if it goes this way. Those are 2-inch panels. So then if I cut it here, I'm getting my back panels. Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's going really, it goes really quickly then because you've already picked out your main cards, if that makes sense. You've already picked out like the main ones that you're using. There you go. So I'm going to lay those panels down because I think that's gorgeous actually. I love that. Okay. So that's one of the big side panels. Lay it down. Are these daisies so friendly? Daisies are the friendliest flower. I made that comment the last time on the Simply Fantastic. I didn't get any comments on that, but I would love to see if people are You Got Mail fans because I love You Got Mail. Okay, so that's how that's going to lay, which I think is stunning. Don't you think that's really pretty? And then this is one of the pieces that was left over from the cut I already did. And I think that is gorgeous. And then that means all I have to do is take this and do another 1 1/4 cut on there. And then I have my main panels are already done. I love that. What do you think? That's gorgeous, right? Okay. So now we'll lay those down. And then it's all about the decorating. Then it's all about decorating. So once I laid that down, then, so now I have my main paper. Okay. Like those are my main colors. Those are the ones I'm using. So I have this paper that I used, right? And I have this paper that I used on that side. And I have this paper that I used on that side. So those kind of become like my main decorating papers that I'm going to use. So that kind of helps you to like maybe like put the other papers to the side for a little bit. That one we might use. Okay, but see these other colors I wouldn't use on that. So then if I'm going to concentrate on this, let's move these so they're just kind of off to the side a little bit so that they're not catching your eye all over the place. But then you see like how I do my creating. So if I'm creating, I'm going to lay that all over so I can do all of my different creations. And this one I will tell you that I would use this. I will show you the picture of this completed after the video is done. So you'll get to see all my completed cards, okay? So now I have this beautiful panel like this on the back, and I think that it would be so pretty to even have a little piece of that flower down there. So we know that this is 3.5 inches, so we're going to cut a little strip of that 3.5 inches. Okay, so this is where you kind of get to play with your cardstock. Okay, I think, look at that. That's beautiful. Yep, we're going to use that one, and we're going to cut that at 3.5 over here in my little cutter. And then look at how that already pulls that out. So pretty, right? I mean, already you're just feeling like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Look at this beautiful card. And I don't do a whole lot more than this. It's just the paper is doing the work for you. And so you're having a good time with that paper. Then the other thing that I'm going to do on the back, and then I'm probably done with the back side. I love the back side. Then I'm going to come in. Remember, I told you I cut out all these butterflies. When I say all these butterflies, you're going to see. So this is my baggie. What? So fun. Okay, like look at him. He matches the paper as well. It's got that green paper. So I actually will do, I think I'll do, you don't want to take up too much space because you want to be able to write. Yeah, I'll save that for the front. I'll just do one little butterfly back here. I'll just do one little butterfly back here. Now, this is where the Winkostella comes in handy because you can do this so that your butterflies will be magical and painted. Now, again, I think I've said that before. If you're not a glitter person, then don't do that. Don't do the Winkostella. Don't get the Winkostella. It's not for you. And if you're not a butterfly person, don't do the butterflies. Get something else that works for you. But I think that is stunning. Butterflies and flowers to me are like, yes, please, to that. Okay, so there's the back of your card. Already done. Now, if you remember I said I had a white piece that I do to the side. I think the white piece breaks this up magically. And then we're going to do one more piece of design series paper, and then we're going to do, remember we already did our tag is ready to go. Okay, so I think I'll go on this side with this white paper like that. Okay, and I think I'm going to add another sheet of this, let a little bit of that white show. So probably do not 2 inches, that's too big. I'll probably do the 1 3/4, or I'm sorry, 1 1/4 panel. That's a nice size. I'll probably do the 1 1/4 panel to just give it a little bit there. Look how beautiful that is. That is so pretty. Okay, so we're going to add that on top, and then we're going to get the tag that we already made, because remember we already stamped that part. We already have that ready to go. And this is where you start playing with your butterflies too. This is like just the time to like play with your butterflies. Okay, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Now we decide, where do I want that tag to go? Maybe right there. I really like that. Yep, I love that. So we'll pull off, because we already had that ready to go, didn't we? So we'll pull that off and set that there. And now we're going to bring in some of these gorgeous butterflies. I like the butterfly. I'm going to put a dimensional on this so that he sits up here, because he's kind of like going to be in those flowers. So I'm going to do one more pop-up dimensional here. And this is where I can show you. Remember how I said I use the edges? I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So I literally cut that off. Like there's a little, you see that? Can you see that little, like that little piece on there? It's not a full size dimensional. Like it's not the same as the hexagon, but it totally works. Like you're not going to, I don't waste any of my dimensionals. And then I'm only going to do glue on this side because he's going to be popped up down there. Do you see what I mean? Like he's going to have that, and he's going to have that, and he's going to be on the edge of that. How cute is that? Need to move it just a touch because I don't want to mess up the You Are Amazing. Let's give it a little bit more glue. I didn't want to cover the Y. It was covering the Y. Okay, so then you've got that, and then you've got all of these beautiful butterflies that you see here, and it's just a matter of what you want. I mean, honestly, it's a matter of what you want. That's gorgeous because that mimics this paper here. So let's use a butterfly over here on the side. My glue came out a little bit. A little bit vicious. Good thing it dries clear, right? So we'll do that. So we've got our butterfly there. Now he's gonna need another of the Blackberry Bliss with the glitter, because that's gonna help the middle of him pop out real nice. So we'll just do that. And you see how I just added the glitter like nothing. I mean, you just like throw the glitter on there. No big deal on that. And we didn't add glitter to him. Let's add glitter. We can add glitter while he's sitting down there. Give him his little glitter bath. Who doesn't want a glitter bath, right? Okay, so we give him as all cute glitter like that. Oh, I love that. Isn't that pretty? And then, of course, we need another one over here, don't we? I think we need another little guy. I think maybe just a little guy, though. I think we'll just do a little guy up in the corner up there. So we'll give him his glitter bath as well, right? And put him over in the corner. There we go. And so really, I think all we need is to have somebody in the middle of this, which I think this is perfect. Do I want that one or I want that one? See, this is just where you play. It's stuck to my finger. This is just where you play. Yeah, I kind of think I like that better. Okay, so we're going to add that. And then, guess what? We're almost done. We're just going to add the gems. Gems. And then we're actually going to fold this card so you can see how amazing this card is. Okay, so the gems that I'm going to add are pearls. So I talked about the different gems we have. I think I've shown you. I'm pretty sure I showed you maybe in the So Now What Tools one. The pages where the gems are in the catalog. I mean, we have so many gems to choose from. That is seriously your personal preference. I mean, it depends on maybe the colors you're using on the cardstock. Although, I will be honest, I think pearls go with everything. I mean, I think you can make the pearl. I think the pearls make everything pop up and make it look really magical. So let's give this one a gem. I do not, I don't think I gave the butterflies in the back a gem, so we'll look into doing that here in a minute. Okay, are you ready? So here we go. This is the card flap, right? Flip it over so you can see it that way. Oh my gosh, is that not beautiful? So when you're looking at this main panel, the first score line folds down away from you, and the second score line folds back towards you, down and come back towards you. So you have a card that looks like this. Is that not magical? And then the back looks like this, that opens up. Now here's the beauty. Because this is one piece of cardstock, this fits in a regular envelope. Okay, and it stands up. So when someone receives their card, they can have it on their desk. Looking at you. Oh, I think that's beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple more here that I did. So pretty. So this cardstock, I used the base, the dark base, again, Blackberry Bliss, but this time I used the mint macaron. Look how that stood out. And I used the different colors. And those are stamps I hadn't used too. And those are in the Oranate stamp set. Excuse me. Same thing. This time I used the terracotta tile. And I actually did the words on a piece of paper. Isn't it beautiful? Okay, I will have all those pictures for you up on the Facebook page. So once this is done, oh, my little gem came off on my finger. Once I am done with this, I will post pictures so you can see how they look up close, so you can see them. But is that not amazing? And maybe you can help me name this fold. I don't know. I don't have a name for it. Okay, let's go to the main screen. How fun. I had so much fun stamping with you today. I hope you enjoyed it too. And I hope that you feel like you can come back and do this again and just pick out your own cardstock or your own pieces and do something entirely different. I'd love to see what you create with something entirely different, with different paper, different words. That would be super fun for me. Okay, so as we continue to stay home and stay safe, I bid you adieu. And what am I going to tell you to do? Of course, I'm going to ask you to go and make the world a better place.